In our series of basic courses, we will continue the basic course of immunology. And today is our second lecture related to major histocompatibility complex, that is also called MHC. So first we will see at the end of this lecture what you will be able to learn. So firstly, we will see in which cells MHC molecules are expressed, how MHC class 1 and 2 molecules are structurally organized, and next we'll see what are the functions of MHC class 1 and class 2 molecules, and lastly we will see what are the exogenous and endogenous antigens. So before starting our next lectures, we want to overview our previous lectures. So what we have learned in our last lectures. In the last lectures, we have tried to develop an understanding of MHC. MHC encoded proteins known as MHAs are expressed on the surface of cells. In humans, there are three classes, and that MHC is tightly linked cluster of genes whose product MHAs play important role in intracellular recognition and in discrimination between self and non-self. And in the last lecture, we also discussed further how they distinguish between the self and non-self. So next we also see the three classes, class 1, class 2 and class 3. We discussed their arrangement and their locations as well. So by considering the basic concepts in one and a half lectures, now we will continue further about the class 1, class 2 MH molecules. So if you look for here, class 1 and class 2 MSC molecules are expressed on the surface of human cells, while class 3 MSC molecules encoded secreted proteins such as cytokines. And both of these molecules, mean class 1 and class 2, are glycoprotein in chemical nature and are transmembrane proteins. Transmembrane protein means that those are embedded in the plasma membrane. If we look here, the structure, if you can see here, there are class 1 MSC molecules, as you can see here, and the upside there are the three molecules, and similarly the three molecules are located on the downside. So in these structures we have shown the 6 molecules of class 1, and similarly you can also see the molecules of class 2 MSC, a similar case in the 3 and above side and 3 on the below side. And in some books you will see the term paternal and maternal. So how and what does mean that terms? Why they're called class 1 paternal molecules, and why they call them the class 1 MSC maternal molecules? Actually, the reason, if you go for the developmental biology, we know that in the beginning, when the zygote is formed, the one chromosomes come from father and other come from the mother. So similarly, these chromosomes carry on the same mechanisms, and here those MSC molecules which are overexpressing on the father's chromosome, father's side's chromosome, they are known as a paternals, and others are known as a maternals. And if you look for here the structures, you can see the animation of structure of class 1 MIC and class 2 MIC. So you can clearly see the difference in these two structures. So we will further try to learn how the class 1 molecules are structurally organized, and how MSC molecule perform their functions. So before main functions of class 1 and class 2 MH molecule is to bind the peptide within the cell and transport them on the surface of the cells. Once peptides are displayed on the surface of cells, T cell recognize them and respond. As you can see here in this animation, when these cells goes up, then T cells can recognize. So it means T cell recognize the antigen only when bind with the MSC molecules. When the antigen bind with that MSC molecules, then it could be recognized with the help of T cells. And here, if we talk about the class 1 MSC molecules, So we know that class 1 MSC molecules are only overexpressed in terms of nucleated cells, while they are not expressed on the non-nucleated cells, that means in the RBCs. So if you look for here, next the structure of class 1 MSC molecules. So class 1 MSC molecule consists of two polypeptides. Let's take the example here. If you look this structure, you can see that uh, red part is representing alpha chain, and then this bluish part is representing the beta microglobulin. So it means the class 1H molecule consists of two polypeptides, one that is called beta microglobulin, and this is a long one that is called alpha chain. And that alpha chain is encoded by MHC that is located in chromosome number 6, and it has molecular weight of 45 kd. Let's see, if you look this structures, you can see the three different parts. So we go slightly the detail of this one. If you go for the alpha chain, that alpha chains have actually three domains, as you can see in this structures: alpha 1, alpha 2, and alpha 3. So, and these are called external domains. Why they are known as external domain? As you can see, because they are located outside of the plasma membrane. So what we can call them, the three external domains, like alpha 1, alpha 2, and alpha 3. And each chain having a 90 amino acids. In mean totally there are 270 amino acids. Like alpha 1 chain have a 90 amino acid, alpha 2 chain similarly, and similarly alpha 3 chain have a 90 amino acids. And if you look at the other part that is embedded in the plasma membrane, that what we call them, that is called actually in that case, uh, this is called one transmembrane domain, and that has about 25 amino acids. If you go further in this one, point to be remembered in this topic. So if you look further, what is the function? These are the, and then actually why I'm mentioning here point to remember, because in our next lectures we will continue how actually these antigens bind with these regions, or even how the T cells bind with these regions. So here we just will remember where they bind. So if you look for here, alpha 1 and alpha 2 domain form a pocket for the binding of peptide that is about 8 to 10 amino acids long peptide derived from the antigens. So it means what we call that region, we call them as a peptide binding cleft that lies between the alpha chain 1 and alpha chain 2. And similarly, what is the role of alpha chain 3? So if you look for that, the alpha chain 3 domain contain binding site for T cell co-receptors, and via this binding, MHCs play an important role in immunity and tissue rejection. So it means what we have learned so far, the MHC one have a two parts. One we call them as a alpha chain, and other we call them as a beta microglobulins. And then what we have learned further is that alpha chains has three domains. We called it as a alpha 1, alpha 2, and alpha 3. And what is the binding site in here for the antigens, that is alpha 1 and alpha 2 domain form a pocket for the binding of the peptide that is derived from the antigen. So it means that cleft is known as a peptide binding cleft. And the other one what we mentioned is alpha 3, and that alpha 3 domain we mentioned contain the binding site for T cell co-receptors. And the other one, if you go for here, so we study the one part that is called alpha chain. And if you look for here, that we have understand what are these paths. And if you go for what does mean by this one, so let's talk about the next part, that is beta microglobulin. So beta microglobulin has a molecular weight of 12 kilodalton, and then encoded by a single gene on chromosome 15. So keep in mind that is a very important question, and in several exams they usually ask where the beta microglobulins are located. So keep in mind why alpha chains are located on the chromosome number 6, while the beta microglobulins are located, genes are located on the chromosome number 15, and bound to the alpha chain by non-covalent bond. If you can see here, is that globulin, what we call them as a beta microglobulin, that bind with the alpha chain through alpha chain 1. And what kind of the bond they form? They form a non-covalent bond. And what is the role of this microglobulin? So if the role is in the folding of alpha chains, it helps to fold the alpha chains for the to receive, to accept the antigen, and possesses no transmission region. As you can see here, this alpha chain have a transmembrane region, but in that's what we call beta microglobulin has no transmembrane region. And another important point is for this beta microglobulin, this is identical in all kind of cells. So I hope this is a very important point. If beta microglobulin is identical in all cells, so that's what we have learned about in the micro. In case of MSC, class 1 has two domain, what we call them as alpha chain, and two parts, alpha chain and beta microglobulin. And alpha chain has a further three domains, alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3. And why my beta microglobulin, that is actually look, the gene for that part is located on the chromosome 15, and the function, the important of that one is to the role of play in folding of alpha chain. So next we talk about the class 1 and class 2 MSC molecules. So in that one, if you go for back, we have discussed about class 1. So in the next part, what we will discuss, we are going to talk about the class 2 MSC molecules. So let's see the class 2 MSC molecules. So one thing is similar to the class 1, MSC molecule has a actually has a in contrast to the class 1, MSC molecule are expressed on the antigen presenting cells, and APCs has what we call them antigen presenting cell, which we are going to talk in our next lecture even in detail. So what does mean the APC? APCs have two categories. One we call them as a professional APCs, like in expressing the class 2 MSC molecule constitutively. They are permanently expressing the class 2 MSC molecules. The example of such professional APCs are B cells, macrophages, and dendritic cells. And if we go for the other category, that is called non-professional APCs. What does mean by the term non-professional APCs? So non-professional APCs express the class 2 MSCs molecule for very short time period. It means these are the transient expression, but in case of the first one is a constitutive expression. So example of these one, as you can see here, is the fibroblast and other cells. So what we goes for the structure of class 2 MSC molecules. So class 2 MSC molecule consists of two polypeptide chains. One is called alpha chain and one is called beta chain. As you can see the structures, this is what we call the alpha chain, and that what we called it as a beta chain. And alpha chain has a molecular weight of 33 kilodalton. And if you go for how many domains they have, so if you go for alpha chain, as you can see here, alpha chain have two domains. One is called alpha 1 and other is called alpha 2. And even similarly, the beta chain also has two domains. One is called beta 1 and another is called beta 2. As you can see here, two external alpha 1 and alpha 2 domains. Why we are called external? Because they are located outside of the plasma membrane. And similarly, beta chain also have two externals. One is called like beta 1 and beta 2 domains. And in case of beta chain has a molecular weight of 28 kilodalton. So this is actually what we call, this is similar. Both have two polypeptides, but there's a difference in terms of that. That's alpha chain, and other is called what we call microglobulin and beta microglobulin in case of class 1 MSC molecules, if you have to memorize the previous one. But if we talk about the class 2 MSC molecules, they also have alpha chain and beta chain. So what difference in case of class 1, what we have mentioned, class 1 alpha chain have three domains, while class 2 MSC molecule alpha chain has two domains, alpha 1 and alpha 2. And if we talk about the beta microglobulin, that is only no further domains are there. And even other difference between this one, the last, in case of the class 1 MSC molecule, beta microglobulin has no transmembrane part. But in this case, you can see these both have a transmembrane part, like alpha chain as well as the beta chain of class MH2 molecules. So important point we have to memorize here, which is a binding site, which is a T cell binding site, and which is an antigen binding site. So if you look for here, beta 2 domain form a binding site for T cell co-receptors. In that case, those are CD8, cluster of differentiation 8, which are helping the T cells. And if we talk about which is the antigen binding site or peptide binding cleft, that is called alpha 1 and beta 1 domain together form a cleft which act as a binding for antigen derived peptide, that is about 13 to 18 amino acids. So that is that cleft actually they where the antigens binds in that part. And similarly, as in the last case and both cases, actually million of MHCs molecules are formed, and then according to the structure of antigens, they join and with that particular antigens. So what is the function of class 1 and class 2 MHC molecules? After knowing their structures, now we will elaborate their functions. And we will introduce two terms here. One is called endogenous and other is the exogenous. And what does mean by the endogenous antigens and what does mean by the exogenous antigens, that we are going to learn in the next slide. So what is the function of class 1 MHC molecules? So class 1 MHC molecule present endogenous antigen for initiation of immune response, while class 2 MHC molecule present exogenous antigen for initiation of immune response. So that is very important to memorize how the functions of class 1 MHC molecule and class 2 MHC molecules differ. So class 1 MHC molecules present what kind of the antigens? Endogenous antigens. What are endogenous antigens? We are going to learn in our next slide. And similarly, class 2 what they do, class 2 MHC molecule or MHC molecules, so they present exogenous antigens for the initiation of immune response. So that's a very important point to memorize. Which one is for the class 1 and which is for the class 2. So let's see the difference between exogenous and endogenous antigens. If you look for here, we presented one in the bluish color, so you can see about the exogenous. We will compare between these two one. So antigens that entered the body of the organism outside, as the name is in exo, is outside is coming something. So that is called exogenous. And if you talk about the other one, antigen produced from within the cell as a part of the normal cell metabolism, or when the cell is infected by bacteria or viruses. And similarly, if we talk about the exogenous, the next step is can enter the body through ingestion, inhalation, or injection. But in case of endogenous, they don't need to be enter the body because it's produced inside the body. So that is a byproduct of the cellular metabolism. The example of the first one is pathogenesis like bacteria, viruses, or etc., or like allergens like pollens or some toxic foods. And similarly, if we talk about the examples of endogenous, these are byproduct of regular cell metabolism or molecular component of pathogens inside infected cells. And another important difference between these two antigens, one is the non-self antigens, or other is either self or non-self. I mean both properties is expressing in that one, and occur in the body fluid and extracellular spaces. But if we talk about the endogenous antigen, they present on the cell membrane. And if we talk about the first one, like exogenous, present along with the MHC class molecules. That's what we have mentioned earlier. And for the MH class 2, which molecules they are presenting, they present the endogenous molecules. So that is where you can see here endogenous antigens molecules, and here we have a exogenous molecules. So if in whole lectures we are going to summarize what we've learned in this lecture, the class 1 MHC molecule consists of two polypeptide, one is called alpha chain and one is called beta microglobulins. And alpha 3 domain form alpha chain is a binding site for T cell receptors, while alpha 1 and alpha 2 form antigen binding pocket. But if we talk about the class 2, so class 2 MHC molecule consists of two polypeptides similarly to the class 1 MHC molecules, but where the different one lies, it has also alpha chain and the beta chain. And the beta domain form a binding site for T cells, co-receptors like CD8, and while alpha and beta 1 form a antigen binding pocket. MHC class 1 molecule present the endogenous, while class 2 molecule present exogenous antigens. So this is all for today. So next lecture, if you have any queries, you can write in the comment sections.